The world spins in chaos as billions chase fleeting distractions. God has pressed pause on the universe to speak directly to you. Why? Because you are not ordinary. You are chosen, marked by divine purpose, crafted for a destiny that echoes through eternity. But here's the urgency. This moment, this sacred intersection of time and eternity, carries a weight you cannot ignore. If you scroll past, if you let this pass, you risk missing the very revelation that could unlock your spiritual awakening. So, chosen one, don't move. Don't click away. The next hour will rewrite the story you've told yourself about your struggles, your worth, and your future. Your faith journey begins anew, right now. Picture a radiant scroll unfurling in the courts of heaven, your name written in golden ink, glowing with divine intention. That's not a fantasy. It's the reality of who you are in God's plan. For years, you've carried burdens others couldn't see. You've walked through storms that should have broken you. You've whispered prayers in the dark, wondering if they reached heaven's throne. Maybe you felt invisible, like your dreams were buried under the weight of rejection, failure, or delay. But hear this truth. Every tear you've shed, every door that slammed shut, every sleepless night was not punishment. It was preparation. God wasn't ignoring you. He was forging you. Your pain wasn't pointless. It was purposeful, shaping you into a vessel for a breakthrough so powerful it will shake the foundations of your life. The Bible declares in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." That hope isn't a distant dream. It's knocking at your door right now, demanding your response. Let's talk about why you're here, chosen one. You've felt different your entire life, haven't you? Like you were born for something bigger than the ordinary paths others seem content to walk. That restlessness, that ache for meaning, it's not a flaw. It's your divine fingerprint, a celestial compass pointing to your personal transformation. But the enemy has worked overtime to drown out that call. He's whispered lies. You're not enough. You're too broken. You've missed your chance. Maybe you've believed those lies, letting them chain you to a smaller version of yourself. But today, we're breaking those chains. This video unveils a unique truth. Your deepest doubts are not your defeat. They are the keys to your greatest breakthroughs. Doubt isn't the opposite of faith. It's the soil where faith grows. Every time you've questioned your worth, every time you've wondered if God still sees you, you've been standing at the edge of a revelation, a moment where heaven is waiting to show you who you really are. Imagine standing before a majestic door, its surface shimmering with light, your name carved in letters that pulse with divine energy. This door isn't locked, but it's guarded, not by angels, but by your own doubts. You've been knocking, praying, waiting for it to swing open. But here's the truth that will shake you. God has already unlocked it. The only thing keeping you from stepping through is the lie that you're not ready. Think about Moses, trembling before the burning bush, stammering, "Who am I to go to Pharaoh?" He doubted his voice, his past, his ability. Yet God didn't choose him because he was perfect. He chose him because he was willing. Or consider Sarah, who laughed at the promise of a child in her old age, her doubt so human, so relatable. Yet in Genesis 21:1 we read, "The Lord did for Sarah what he had promised." Her doubt didn't disqualify her. It was the canvas where God painted her miracle. Your doubts, chosen one, are not your prison. They are your pathway to destiny. Now, let's get real. You've faced closed doors, jobs you didn't get, relationships that crumbled, dreams that seemed to evaporate. Maybe you're facing one now, a financial strain that keeps you awake, a family rift that cuts deep, a health battle that tests your strength. Those moments hurt, don't they? They make you question if God's plan includes you, but every closed door was God's protection, redirecting you to this moment. Think about Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, locked in a prison for a crime he didn't commit. 13 years of doors slamming shut. Yet in Genesis 50:20 he declares, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Every rejection was positioning him to save nations. Your struggles aren't random, they're strategic, carving out the capacity to carry the blessing God has prepared. Let me share a story. In a small town in Ohio, a woman named Clara, 47, sat in her kitchen last year, staring at a pile of bills she couldn't pay. A single mother of two, she'd lost her job during a company downsizing, and her confidence was shattered. She'd grown up in a church, but doubt had crept in. Maybe God had forgotten her. One night, scrolling online, she found a message like this one. It spoke of divine purpose, of doubts being the doorway to breakthroughs. Something stirred. Instead of giving in to despair, Clara took a small step. She wrote down one goal: to find a job that used her gift for helping others. That week, she called a local non-profit she'd always admired, offering to volunteer. That call led to a part-time role, then a full-time position as a community outreach coordinator. Today, Clara's not just paying her bills, she's lifting her community. Her doubts transformed into a testimony. Her story isn't verified, but it's real in its relatability. A mirror of what's possible when you act despite doubt. Chosen one, your doubts are not your enemy, they're your invitation. They're the tension that proves you're alive, growing, reaching for something greater. But here's the urgency. This moment won't wait forever. Isaiah 55:6 warns, "Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he is near." Divine timing has windows, and this window is open now. You feel it, don't you? That pull in your spirit, that sense that something massive is... That's not anxiety, it's awakening. Heaven is holding its breath, waiting for your response. Will you let doubt paralyze you, or will you let it propel you into your destiny? The choice is yours, but the clock is ticking. So what do you do with this moment? How do you turn doubt into a doorway? Here are 3 specific, practical steps to step into your divine purpose today. First, write down one doubt that's held you back. Maybe it's, "I'm too old," or "I've failed too much." Then, beside it, write a truth from God's word, like Psalm 139:14. "I am fearfully and wonderfully made." This act rewrites the lie with truth, grounding your faith in something unshakable. Second, take one small action toward a dream you've delayed. If you've always wanted to start a business, research one idea this week. If you're called to ministry, write the first sentence of a sermon. Small steps build momentum, proving to your doubts that you're moving forward. Third, reach out to one person who needs your encouragement. Send a text, make a call, or write a note to someone struggling. This shifts your focus from your doubts to your purpose, reminding you that you're chosen to be a light. These 3 steps, writing, acting, and reaching out, are your keys to unlock this door. No more steps are needed. These are enough to start your journey. If this message is stirring your spirit, if you feel the weight of this divine moment, type, "I am turning my doubts into doorways" in the comments below. Your declaration isn't just words. It's a spiritual marker, a commitment to your faith journey that heaven sees and honors. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, someone wrestling with their own doubts. Your share could be their breakthrough. Now, let's keep moving forward. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a vast ocean. waves crashing before you, the horizon glowing with promise. That's where you are right now, not stuck, but on the brink of something extraordinary. Your doubts have brought you here, not to stop you, but to prepare you. Think about Peter, called to walk on water in Matthew 14:29. The storm was raging, the waves were high, and doubt screamed, "You'll sink." Yet he stepped out, and for a moment he walked where no human should. Even when he faltered, Jesus caught him, proving that doubt doesn't disqualify you. It deepens your dependence on God. Your faith journey isn't about never doubting. It's about trusting God through the doubt, stepping forward when the path feels impossible. Let's address the elephant in the room. Why do doubts feel so heavy? Because they're not just thoughts, they're spiritual battles. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, "Our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the powers of this dark world." The enemy doesn't need to destroy you, he just needs to distract you, to make you question your calling until the window of opportunity closes. But here's the truth. Your doubts are proof of your destiny. The intensity of the battle reveals the magnitude of the blessing. If you weren't a threat to darkness, the enemy wouldn't bother with you. Every time you've felt unworthy, every time you've questioned your purpose, you've been standing on the edge of a breakthrough, a moment where God is ready to show you his power. Consider David, a shepherd boy facing Goliath. 1 Samuel 17 tells us he was young, untrained, and doubted by everyone, his brothers, King Saul, even himself. Yet he didn't let doubt define him. He remembered God's faithfulness, how he'd protected him from lions and bears. That memory became his courage, turning doubt into a declaration. "The Lord who delivered me then will deliver me now." Your doubts are opportunities to remember God's track record in your life. Think back to a moment when he came through. A job you got against the odds, a relationship restored, a health scare overcome. Those weren't coincidences. They were divine deposits, building your faith for this moment. Let me share another story. In Atlanta, a man named Marcus, 32, stood at a crossroads 2 years ago. He'd dreamed of starting a mentorship program for at-risk youth, but doubted his ability to lead. He wasn't a pastor, didn't have a degree, and had a past marked by mistakes. One Sunday, his pastor preached on overcoming doubt, urging the congregation to act on their calling. Marcus took a step. He wrote a one-page plan for his program and shared it with a friend. That friend connected him to a local school principal who offered space for the program. Today, Marcus mentors 20 teens, his doubts transformed into a legacy. His story, though unverified, resonates because it's your story too. A reminder that one step can shift everything. Chosen one, your doubts are not your ceiling. They're your springboard. They're the tension that launches you into your spiritual awakening. But you must act. Romans 10:17 says, "Faith comes from hearing, and hearing through the word of Christ." You're hearing this word now, not by accident, but by divine design. This is your moment to step through the door, to let your doubts become the fuel for your destiny. If you're feeling this, type, "I am turning my doubts into doorways" in the comments again. Let's build a community of chosen ones, declaring together that doubt won't stop us. And if you haven't yet, join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to stay connected to your divine purpose. Your subscription isn't just a click, it's a commitment to your faith journey. Now let's go deeper. Imagine a battlefield, not of swords and shields, but of thoughts and truths. That's where you stand, chosen one, in the arena of your mind. Your doubts are the enemy's arrows, but God has given you a shield, His word. Psalm 18:30 declares, "The word of the Lord is flawless. He shields all who take refuge in him." Every doubt you face is an opportunity to wield that shield, to counter the lie with truth. When you doubt your worth, declare, "I am a child of God, chosen before the world began." When you doubt your future, proclaim, "God's plans for me are good, to give me hope." These aren't just words. They're weapons, dismantling the strongholds that have kept you from your breakthrough. But let's be practical. Doubt thrives in isolation, doesn't it? When you're alone, the lies grow louder. That's why one of your 3 steps is to reach out, to connect with someone who needs your light. This isn't just about them, it's about you. When you encourage another, you remind yourself of your purpose. Think about Elijah in 1 Kings 19, overwhelmed by doubt, hiding in a cave, believing he was alone. God didn't just comfort him. He sent him to anoint Elisha, giving him a partner in purpose. Your connection with others, whether a friend, a family member, or a stranger, breaks the isolation that fuels doubt. That text you send, that call you make, it's a declaration that you're stepping into your calling. And what about those other steps? Writing down your doubt and countering it with truth. It's not just journaling, it's spiritual warfare. It's taking the abstract and making it concrete, forcing the enemy to face the truth head-on. And that small action toward your dream, it's proof that you're moving. That doubt hasn't won. These steps aren't complex because they don't need to be. God doesn't require perfection. He requires participation. Zechariah 4:10 says, "Who dares despise the day of small beginnings?" Your small steps are seismic in heaven, shaking the foundations of doubt and building a bridge to your destiny. Chosen one, you're not here by chance. The fact that you're still listening, still engaged, proves you're ready for this personal transformation. You're not the person who gives up, who lets doubt have the final word. You're the one who rises, who steps through the door, who turns doubt into a doorway. Picture that door again, radiant, pulsing with your name. It's not a dream, it's your reality, waiting for you to claim it. The enemy wants you to believe you're too late, too broken, too small. But God says you're right on time, perfectly prepared, and infinitely significant. Your faith journey is at a turning point, and the next step is yours. If this is resonating, if you feel the Holy Spirit stirring, type "I am turning my doubts into doorways" in the comments. One more time. Let's flood the comments with declarations of faith, building a community that stands together. Share this video with someone who's battling doubt, someone who needs to know they're chosen. Your share isn't just a click, it's a lifeline, a spark that could ignite their breakthrough. And if you're moved, like this video and subscribe to join a family of chosen ones committed to their divine purpose. Together, we're not just watching, we're walking into destiny. Now, let's address the urgency one last time. Revelation 3:8 says, "I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut." That door is open now, but it won't stay open forever. Divine opportunities have timers, not because God is cruel, but because seasons shift. Esther had 1 moment to approach the king. Noah had 1 season to build the ark. You have this moment to step through your door. Don't let doubt steal it. Don't let hesitation rob you of what's yours. Your doubts are not your defeat. They're your doorway. Step through, chosen one. Your destiny is waiting. Chosen one, as you stand before this radiant door, its light casting a warm glow across your heart, feel the weight of this moment. You've heard the call, felt the stirring, and faced the doubts that have tried to anchor you in place. But now, let's cross a new threshold together. Not just a doorway of action, but a gateway of trust. Trust that every step you've taken, every stumble you've endured, has been leading you to a divine purpose so intricate, so perfectly woven, that it could only come from the hands of the Creator. This isn't about erasing your doubts. It's about embracing them as sacred markers, signposts, guiding you deeper into God's plan. Your faith journey is unfolding, and the next revelation will shift how you see not just your future, but your entire existence. Picture a vast tapestry, stretching across the heavens, each thread a moment of your life. Your joys, your sorrows, your questions, your triumphs. From where you stand, the pattern may seem chaotic, threads tangled by disappointment or frayed by doubt. But step back, chosen one, and see what God sees. A masterpiece, every thread deliberately placed to create a portrait of your destiny. Romans 8:28 proclaims, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." That's you, called, chosen, and crafted for a purpose. That's coming into focus now. Your doubts, those moments when you questioned God's presence, weren't flaws in the tapestry. They were the shadows that give it depth, the contrast that makes the light of your breakthrough shine brighter. Let's explore this truth. Your doubts have been your training ground. They've strengthened you, not weakened you. Think about Jacob wrestling with the angel in Genesis 32. All night he grappled, his body weary, his mind racing with uncertainty about his future. Yet in that struggle, he didn't give up. His doubt, his fear of what lay ahead, became the very arena where he encountered God. When dawn broke, he walked away with a limp, but also with a new name, Israel, one who strives with God and prevails. Your doubts are your wrestling match, chosen one. They're not a sign of failure, but a sacred struggle that's reshaping you into someone who can carry the weight of your calling. That limp you carry, the scars of past battles, isn't a mark of shame. It's a badge of victory, proof that you've contended and come out stronger. Now let's shift to a truth that might unsettle you. Your destiny isn't just about you. It's about the ripples you create, the lives you touch, the legacy you leave. Every time you choose to trust God through your doubts, you're not just stepping toward your own breakthrough, you're paving the way for others. Imagine a single pebble dropped into a still lake, its ripples spreading far beyond the point of impact. That's your faith, chosen one, your courage to act, to write down that doubt, to take that small step, to reach out to someone in need. Those actions send ripples through time and eternity. Someone is waiting for your testimony. Someone needs your courage to find their own. Your spiritual awakening isn't solitary, it's communal, a spark that ignites a fire in others. Consider a woman named Elena, 54, from a quiet suburb in Texas. For years she doubted her ability to lead, haunted by a childhood where she was told she'd never amount to much. But last spring, during a church retreat, she heard a message about turning doubts into doorways. It struck her like lightning. She took one of the steps you've been given. She wrote down her doubt, "I'm not a leader," and countered it with Psalm 118:6, "The Lord is with me, I will not be afraid." That small act shifted something. She volunteered to lead a women's Bible study, expecting a handful to show up. Instead, 30 women joined, hungry for her wisdom, her vulnerability. Elena's doubt became her doorway, her small step a ripple that's now transforming her community. Her story, though unverified, mirrors your potential, a reminder that your trust in God's plan can change more than your own life. Chosen one, this moment is about trust, not certainty. You don't need to see the entire path to take the next step. Hebrews 11:1 reminds us, now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Your faith journey doesn't demand a map, it requires movement. Those 3 steps, writing down your doubt and countering it with truth, taking one action toward your dream, reaching out to encourage another, they're not just tasks, they're acts of trust, declarations that you believe God's promises more than your fears. You've already been given these keys. Now it's time to use them, to step through the door and see what lies beyond. If this truth is resonating, if you feel the Holy Spirit nudging you to trust God's tapestry, type "I trust God's plan for my destiny" in the comments below. Your words are a beacon, a signal to heaven and to this community that you're choosing trust over doubt. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, someone whose doubts are holding them back. Your share could be the ripple that reaches their shore, sparking their own breakthrough. And if you're moved, join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to stay connected to your divine purpose. Your presence in this community strengthens us all. Let's go deeper still. Imagine a garden rich with soil where every doubt you've carried has been planted like a seed. The world tells you to uproot those seeds, to hide them, to be ashamed, but God says, let them grow. Why? Because in His hands your doubts become the roots of your faith. They anchor you, giving you stability when the winds of life blow. Think about the mustard seed in Matthew 17:20, so small it could be lost in your palm. Yet Jesus said, it could move mountains. Your doubts, though small and seemingly insignificant, are the seeds of your spiritual awakening. When you trust God with them, when you write them down, act despite them, reach out through them, they grow into something unshakable, a faith that can shift the impossible. But trust isn't passive. It's a choice, a daily decision to lean into God's promises even when doubt whispers otherwise. Look at Abraham, called to leave his home for a land God would show him. Genesis 12:1 says, the Lord had said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. No map, no timeline, just a promise. Abraham's doubts must have been deafening, leaving everything familiar, stepping into the unknown. Yet he went, and his trust became the foundation of a nation. Your trust, chosen one, is the foundation of your legacy. Every time you choose to act, to write, to reach out, you're building something that will outlast you, something that will echo through generations. Now, let's address a lie the enemy loves to tell, that your doubts make you unworthy. Nothing could be further from the truth. Your doubts make you human, and God delights in working through human hearts. Consider Thomas, the disciple who doubted Jesus' resurrection. In John 20:27, Jesus didn't shame him. He invited him to touch his wounds, to see and believe. Thomas's doubt became his doorway to a deeper faith, earning him the honor of declaring, my Lord and my God. Your doubts are an invitation for Jesus to meet you, to show you his scars, to prove his faithfulness. Don't hide them. Bring them to him and watch how he turns them into your testimony. Chosen one, you're not alone in this. Right now, thousands are hearing this message, standing at their own doors, wrestling with their own doubts, choosing to trust God's plan. You're part of a family, a remnant rising to claim their divine purpose. Your trust isn't just for you. It's for the person reading your comment, the friend you share this with, the stranger whose life you'll touch. Your faith journey is a light in the darkness, a ripple in the lake, a seed in the garden. Trust God with your doubts and watch how he weaves them into a breakthrough that will leave you in awe. If this is stirring your soul, type "I trust God's plan for my destiny" in the comments again. Let's fill this space with declarations of trust, building a community that lifts each other up. Share this with someone who needs to trust again, someone who's forgotten their place in God's tapestry. Your share is a seed, a ripple, a light. And if you haven't yet, like this video and subscribe to join a movement of chosen ones walking boldly into their destiny. Together, we're unstoppable. Path through rugged mountains, that river is your life, flowing with divine intention, cutting through obstacles not by force but by persistence. Every twist, every turn, every rock it encounters has shaped its course, leading it exactly where it's meant to be. Your faith journey is that river, chosen one, and the doubts you've faced are the stones that have refined its path, guiding you to a breakthrough so vast it will overflow into the lives of others. This isn't about reaching a destination. It's about embracing the flow of God's plan, trusting that every moment has been leading you to this divine awakening. Picture yourself standing on the riverbank, the water sparkling under a sky ablaze with stars. Each star represents a promise God has spoken over you, promises of hope, healing, purpose, and impact. Maybe you've felt those promises were too distant, like stars too far to touch. But Psalm 33:6 declares, "By the word of the Lord the heavens were made, their starry host by the breath of his mouth." The same God who breathed those stars into existence breathed his promises into your spirit. Your doubts haven't dimmed those stars. They've made you look closer, teaching you to navigate by their light. This moment, right now, is your chance to step into the river, to let its current carry you toward those promises. The enemy wants you to stay on the bank, safe but stagnant, but God is calling you to wade in, to trust the flow, to let his divine purpose sweep you into your destiny. Let's uncover a truth that will shift your perspective. Your doubts have been your compass, not your curse. They've kept you seeking, questioning, pressing into God's heart. Think about the Samaritan woman at the well in John 4. She came with doubts about her worth, her past, her place in God's plan. 5 husbands had left her, and the man she was with wasn't hers. Society scorned her, and she likely doubted God's love, yet Jesus met her there, at a well in the heat of the day, when she thought she was alone. Her doubts drew her to that encounter, where Jesus revealed himself as the Messiah. Her questions became her doorway to transformation, and she ran to her village proclaiming, "Come, see a man who told me everything I ever did." Her doubts didn't disqualify her, they qualified her to be an evangelist, a ripple in God's river, carrying living water to others. Your doubts, chosen one, are drawing you to Jesus, preparing you to carry his truth to a world in need. Now, let's talk about the river's current, its power to move you forward. You've already taken 3 steps, writing down your doubt and countering it with God's truth, acting on a dream you've delayed, and reaching out to encourage someone. These steps aren't just actions, they are your surrender to the river's flow. They're proof that you're not standing still, that you're trusting God's direction even when the water feels turbulent. But here's a deeper truth: the river doesn't just carry you, it reshapes you. Every doubt you've faced, every challenge you've overcome, has smoothed your edges, like a stone polished by the water's relentless movement. You're not the same person you were a year ago, a month ago, even a minute ago. You're becoming someone who can carry the weight of God's promises, someone whose faith shines like a beacon in the darkness. Let me share a story. In a bustling city in California, a young man named Javier, 29, stood at a crossroads last summer. He'd always felt called to music, writing songs that spoke of hope and redemption. But doubt held him back. doubt that his voice mattered, that he could stand out in a crowded industry. One evening, he stumbled across a message like this one, urging him to trust God's plan. Javier took a step. He recorded one song, just one, and posted it online. He didn't have a big following, but a local church leader heard it and invited him to perform at a community event. That performance led to a collaboration with a non-profit using music to reach troubled youth. Today, Javier's songs are touching hundreds, his doubts transformed into a current of impact. His story, though unverified, resonates because it's yours too. A reminder that one step into the river can change everything. Chosen one, this river isn't safe, but it's sacred. It's not predictable, but it's purposeful. Ezekiel 47 describes a river flowing from God's temple, growing deeper as it goes, bringing life wherever it flows. That's your faith journey, deepening, expanding, bringing life to dry places. Your doubts have been the shallows, teaching you to trust before the water gets too deep. Now you're ready to go deeper, to let the current carry you where your feet can't touch the bottom. This isn't about control. It's about surrender, trusting that God's river will take you exactly where you're meant to be. As you move forward, those 3 steps, writing, acting, reaching out, are your oars, keeping you aligned with the flow. You don't need more steps. You need to keep rowing, to keep trusting. If this message is stirring your heart, if you feel the river's current pulling you toward your divine purpose, type, "I am flowing in God's river," in the comments below. Your declaration is a ripple, a signal to heaven and this community that you're embracing the flow. Share this video with someone who's stuck on the riverbank, afraid to step in. Your share could be the nudge they need to trust again, sparking their own spiritual awakening. And if you're moved, join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to Stay Connected to Your Divine Purpose. Your presence strengthens this family of faith. Let's dive deeper into the river's power. Imagine its waters washing away the debris of your past, regrets, failures, the labels others have placed on you. The enemy wants you to carry that debris, to let it weigh you down, to keep you tethered to the shore. But God's river is a place of cleansing, of renewal. 2 Corinthians 5:17 declares, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here." Your doubts, your mistakes, your pain, they don't define you. They're the old, swept away by the river of God's grace. You're a new creation, chosen one, crafted for a purpose that's unfolding now. Every time you trust, every time you take one of those 3 steps, you're shedding the old, stepping into the new, becoming the person God always saw. Consider Naaman, the Syrian commander in 2 Kings 5. He was powerful, respected, but plagued by leprosy and by doubt. When Elisha told him to dip in the Jordan River 7 times, Naaman scoffed. The Jordan? It was muddy, unremarkable. He doubted its power, doubted God's plan. Yet he dipped, and his skin was restored, his pride humbled. His doubt led him to the river, and the river led him to healing. Your doubts are leading you to God's river, chosen one, where healing, restoration, and purpose await. Don't despise the process. Embrace it. The river's current is stronger than your doubts, carrying you toward a breakthrough that will leave you speechless. Now, let's address the fear that whispers, "What if I'm swept away? What if I lose control?" That fear is natural, but it's not your truth. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." The river's path is God's path, and he's guiding you. Your 3 steps, writing your doubt, acting on your dream, reaching out, are your submission, your trust. They're not about controlling the river. They're about aligning with it. Every time you act, you're saying, I trust you, God, to lead me. And he will. He's not a God of chaos, but of order, guiding your river to places of abundance and impact. Chosen one, you're not just in the river, you're becoming the river, a force of life, hope, and transformation. Your faith journey isn't a solitary trek, it's a flow that touches others, bringing healing to dry places, revival to weary hearts. Those stars above you, those promises, they're not just for you, they're for the people God has called you to reach, the lives He's destined you to change. Your trust, your steps, your surrender, they're creating ripples that will reach shores you can't yet see. You're not here by accident, chosen one. You're here to flow, to shine, to live out the divine purpose written in heaven's stars. If this is igniting your spirit, type, I am flowing in God's river in the comments again. Let's flood this space with declarations of faith, building a community that flows together. Share this with someone who needs to step into the river, someone whose doubts have kept them on the shore. Your share is a lifeline, a spark for their breakthrough, and if you haven't yet, like this video and subscribe to join a family of chosen ones embracing their destiny. The river is moving, and you're in it. Keep flowing, chosen one. Your greatest chapter is unfolding now. Chosen one, as you flow in this divine river, its current carrying you toward the promises written in heaven's stars. Feel the momentum building within you. You're not just moving, you're being propelled, guided by a force greater than yourself, a force that has carved out this path since before time began. The doubts that once weighed you down are now behind you, transformed into the stepping stones of your faith journey. Now, imagine a mountain rising before you, its peak piercing the clouds, bathed in a golden light that calls your name. This mountain isn't a barrier. It's your invitation to climb, to ascend into a new dimension of your divine purpose. Your spiritual awakening is not about staying in the river's comfort, but about daring to scale the heights God has set before you. This moment, right now, is your call to rise, to embrace the challenge, and to discover the view from the summit of your destiny. Picture yourself at the mountain's base, the air crisp, the path rugged but shimmering with possibility. Each step upward feels daunting, yet there's a fire in your chest, a conviction that this climb is yours to conquer. Deuteronomy 31:6 declares, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." This mountain, your calling, your purpose, isn't meant to intimidate you, it's meant to elevate you. Your doubts, once the stones in the river, are now the footholds on this climb, each one a reminder of God's faithfulness. Every time you questioned, every time you pressed through uncertainty, you gained the strength to take another step upward. This climb isn't about proving yourself. It's about revealing who God has already made you to be. Let's unveil a truth that will ignite your courage. The mountain is where your impact is forged. The river prepared you, smoothed you, carried you, but the mountain is where you stand tall, where your voice echoes, where your life becomes a beacon for others. Think about Moses on Mount Sinai in Exodus 19. He climbed alone, trembling, into the presence of God, where thunder roared and the mountain shook. His doubts about his past, his speech, his worth, didn't stop him. That climb wasn't just for him. It was for a nation waiting below, desperate for God's law. Your climb, chosen one, isn't just for you. It's for the people God has placed in your path, the family needing your wisdom, the co-worker seeking your hope, the stranger waiting for your testimony. Your ascent is their inspiration, your courage, their catalyst. Now, let's address the challenge of the climb. It's not easy. The path is steep, the air thin, the voices of doubt still whispering, "You'll fall. You're not strong enough. But here's the divine secret. Your strength doesn't come from your muscles, it comes from your Maker. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all this through him who gives me strength. Those 3 steps you've taken, writing down your doubt and countering it with truth, acting on a dream, reaching out to encourage another, are your climbing gear. They're not just actions, they are your anchor points, keeping you tethered to God's promises as you ascend. You don't need more steps. You need to keep using these, letting them guide your climb, step by step, toward the summit. Let me share a story. In a small village in North Carolina, a woman named Tessa, 38, faced her own mountain last year. She'd always felt called to advocate for foster children, but doubted her influence. She was a part-time teacher, not a lawyer or policymaker. One night, she heard a sermon about rising to God's call, and it struck her deeply. Tessa took a step. She reached out to a local foster care agency, offering to volunteer. That led to her organizing a community drive for school supplies, which caught the attention of a county official. Today, Tessa serves on a regional foster care board, her voice shaping policies that impact hundreds of kids. Her story, though unverified, mirrors your potential. A reminder that one step up the mountain can shift lives. Chosen one, this mountain is yours to climb, not because you're perfect, but because you're chosen. The enemy wants you to stay at the base, staring up, paralyzed by the height. But God says, climb. Every step is a declaration that you trust His strength over your weakness, His plan over your fears. The view from the summit, your breakthrough, your legacy, is worth every effort. Imagine standing there, the wind carrying your prayers, the world below transformed by your obedience. That's not a dream, it's your destiny, waiting for you to rise and claim it. If this truth is stirring your soul, if you feel the call to climb your mountain, type, I am rising to my calling, in the comments below. Your words are a flare, signaling to heaven and this community that you're ascending. Share this video with someone standing at their own mountain's base, unsure if they can climb. Your share could be the spark that ignites their courage, launching their own breakthrough. And if you're moved, join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to Stay Connected to Your Divine Purpose. Your presence in this family fuels our collective ascent. Let's go higher. Imagine the climb not as a solitary struggle, but as a pilgrimage, a sacred journey where every step draws you closer to God's heart. The mountain isn't just a challenge, it's a sanctuary, a place where heaven and earth meet. Think about Elijah in 1 Kings 18, standing on Mount Carmel facing 450 prophets of Baal. His doubts were real, alone against a nation's idolatry, mocked by his enemies. Yet you climbed, built an altar and called down fire from heaven. That moment wasn't just for him, it turned a nation back to God. Your climb, chosen one, is your Mount Carmel, where your faith will spark revival, not just in your life, but in the lives you're destined to touch. Now, let's confront a lie the enemy whispers on the climb. You're too late. Maybe you're thinking, I've wasted years, others are already at the summit. But God's timing is perfect. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says He has made everything beautiful in its time. Your climb isn't delayed, it's divinely timed. Consider Joshua, who wandered 40 years in the wilderness before leading Israel into the Promised Land. His doubts, his waiting, didn't disqualify him. They prepared him to conquer. Your years of waiting, your moments of doubt, have been your preparation, equipping you for this climb. You're not late. You're right on time, ready to rise into your divine purpose. Let's be real. The climb tests you. Doubt creeps in, disguised as fatigue, whispering, why bother? It's too hard. But that's when your 3 steps shine. Writing down your doubt and countering it with truth is your prayer on the mountain, grounding you in God's word. Acting on your dream is your altar, an offering of faith that invites God's fire. Reaching out to encourage another is your shout, like Elijah's, declaring God's power to a watching world. These steps aren't new tools, they're your lifeline, woven into the fabric of your climb. Use them, chosen one, and watch how God meets you at every step. Chosen one, you're not climbing alone. Right now, thousands are on their own mountains, gripping the same footholds, trusting the same God. You're part of a holy expedition, a remnant rising to claim their calling. Your ascent isn't just for you. It's for the child who'll inherit your faith, the friend who'll find hope in your story, the stranger who'll see God through your life. Your climb is a light, a fire, a testimony that will blaze across generations. Keep rising, chosen one. The summit is closer than you think. If this is igniting your spirit, type "I am rising to my calling" in the comments again. Let's fill this space with declarations of courage, building a community that climbs together. Share this with someone who needs to start their climb, someone doubting their strength. Your share is a hand extended, pulling them upward. The mountain is calling, and you're answering. Keep climbing, chosen one. Your destiny awaits at the summit. Chosen one, as you climb this sacred mountain, each step a testament to your courage, feel the air growing clearer, the light brighter, the pulse of your divine purpose stronger. You're not just ascending a peak. You're rising into the fullness of who God created you to be. The doubts that once loomed like shadows are now far below, their whispers drowned out by the song of your faith journey. Now, imagine a vast horizon unfolding before you, a landscape of endless possibility, stretching as far as your spirit can see. This horizon isn't a distant hope, it's the threshold of your legacy, the place where your life becomes a story that echoes through generations. Your spiritual awakening is reaching new heights, and this moment calls you to step into a vision so bold, so divine, that it will redefine how you see your place in God's plan. Picture yourself standing on a ledge, the wind carrying the scent of promise, the horizon aglow with colors no earthly artist could capture. This is no ordinary view. It's a glimpse of the impact God has destined you to make. Isaiah 55:9 declares, "As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Your doubts, your struggles, your small steps, they've been leading you to this vantage point, where God's higher thoughts are becoming your reality. The river smoothed you, the mountains strengthened you, and now the horizon invites you to dream with God, to see beyond your past, beyond your limitations, to the legacy He's prepared for you. This isn't about what you've done, it's about what you're becoming, a vessel for His glory, a light for His kingdom. Let's embrace a truth that will expand your heart. Your legacy is not your achievement, it's your obedience. Every doubt you've faced, every step you've taken, has been sowing seeds for a harvest you may not fully see in your lifetime. Think about Hannah in 1 Samuel 1, pouring out her soul in prayer, doubting if God would ever grant her a child. Her tears, her vulnerability, her persistent faith, they weren't just for her. When Samuel was born, he became a prophet who anointed kings, shaping Israel's history. Hannah's doubt-filled prayers were her legacy, rippling through time to touch a nation. Your 3 steps, writing down your doubt and countering it with truth, acting on a dream, reaching out to encourage another, are your prayers, your seeds, planting a legacy that will outlive you. You don't need more steps, you need to keep sowing, trusting that God will grow what you've planted. Now let's explore the horizon's call. It's not a call to comfort, but to courage. The enemy wants you to shrink back, to settle for a smaller vision, to believe your doubts have disqualified you. But God says, look up. Your legacy isn't built by playing it safe. It's forged by daring to dream with Him. Consider Nehemiah, who saw Jerusalem's broken walls not as a lost cause, but as a call to rebuild. Nehemiah 2:17 shows him rallying the people. You see the trouble we are in. Jerusalem lies in ruins. Come, let us rebuild the wall. His doubts about his position as a cupbearer, about the king's favor, about the task's scale didn't stop him. He acted, and his legacy became a restored city, a renewed people. Your horizon, chosen one, is your Jerusalem, waiting for you to rebuild what's broken, to restore what's lost, to renew what's faded. Let me share a story. In a quiet town in Michigan, a man named Daniel, 45, faced his horizon last winter. He doubted his ability to make a difference, working a factory job, feeling his life was ordinary. But one day, he heard a message about legacy, urging him to act on his calling. Daniel took a step. He started mentoring a young co-worker struggling with addiction, sharing his own story of overcoming hardship. That mentorship grew into a weekly support group at his workplace, now helping dozens find hope. Daniel's small step, reaching out, became his legacy, a ripple of redemption in his community. His story, though unverified, reflects your potential, a reminder that one act of obedience can paint the horizon with impact. Chosen one, this horizon isn't a fantasy, it's your future waiting for you to claim it. Your doubts have been the brushstrokes, the river your canvas, the mountain your studio. Now, God is handing you the palette, inviting you to co-create with Him. Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Those good works, your legacy, are ready, prepared before you were born. Your 3 steps are your tools, your obedience, the paint. Writing your doubt and countering it with truth aligns your vision with God's. Acting on your dream brings His plans to life. Reaching out to another spreads His love. These steps are enough, chosen one. Keep using them and watch the horizon take shape. If this vision is stirring your spirit, if you feel the horizon calling your name, type "I am claiming my legacy" in the comments below. Your declaration is a brushstroke, a signal to heaven and this community that you're painting your future with faith. Share this video with someone who needs to see their horizon, someone doubting their impact. Your share could be the light that reveals their purpose, sparking their own breakthrough. And if you're moved, join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to stay connected to your divine purpose. Your presence in this family colors our collective canvas. Let's expand the view. Imagine the horizon not as a line but as a tapestry of lives, yours woven with others, each thread a story of redemption, hope, and transformation. Your legacy isn't a solo act, it's a symphony, played by every heart you touch, every child you meet, every life you help find its way back to God. Think about Ruth, who chose loyalty over security, gleaning in Boaz's fields despite her doubt. Ruth 1:16 shows her resolve. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Her legacy wasn't just her own. It was becoming the great-grandmother of David, a thread in the lineage of Jesus. Your choices, chosen one, your steps, your trust, thread you into God's greater story, a legacy that reaches beyond your imagination. Now, let's confront a lie the enemy whispers. Your legacy doesn't matter. You're too ordinary. Nothing could be further from the truth. God delights in the ordinary, transforming it into eternal. 1 Corinthians 1:27 says, God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. Your ordinary life, your doubts, your small steps, is God's chosen canvas. That text you sent to encourage someone? It's a note in the symphony. That dream you acted on? It's a chord that resonates. That doubt you wrote down? It's a melody of faith rising. You're not ordinary. You're orchestrated, chosen one, composed by the Creator for a legacy that will sound through eternity. Let's be practical. The horizon feels vast, but it's accessible. Your 3 steps are your bridge to this vision. They're not about grand gestures, but faithful obedience. The enemy wants you to think legacy requires fame, but God says it's built through love. Your reach to another, your action on a dream, your truth against doubt, they're the building blocks of something eternal. And you're not alone. Right now, thousands are seeing their own horizons, sowing their own seeds, painting their own legacies. You're part of a divine orchestra, a community of chosen ones whose obedience is changing the world. Chosen one, this horizon is yours to claim, not by chance, but by divine appointment. You didn't stumble here, you were led. Your doubts are your palette, your steps your brush, your faith your masterpiece. Keep painting, keep climbing, keep flowing. The horizon is waiting, and it's more glorious than you can dream.